All right, video number 2, I'm covering 7 things that I learned in nearly 7 years of building muscle and strength with nothing more than just my body weight here. First 3 I covered, tension is all the same, skill builds strength, which builds muscle, and you've got to really commit to the process sort of thing. You can't just have a few rough weeks and say, to hell with this body weight thing, I'm gonna give it on up. Coming on now, number 4, what I call technical fragmentation. This is something I address in the second book that I'm writing. First book is out on Amazon, Fitness Independence. Technical fragmentation is a byproduct of the gym scene and the bodybuilding world. People ask me all the time, how do I work this part of the shoulder, this part of the shoulder, this part of the pec, this part, this, that. All these little tiny little bits that we can zero in on. This is not natural ways to train. We're not supposed to use the body in tiny bits and pieces. Ideally, more effective, and I believe more holistic training, means instead of sharpshooting little muscles all over the body, you just carpet bomb the whole thing. This is what my chain training ebook over at Red Delta Project is all about. It's a free one, just click on the link, you download it. Because you're gonna get better results, I feel, from instead of saying this is for the upper chest, middle chest, lower chest, inner chest, outer chest. What I do is I say, I just work the whole damn thing at once with every single exercise that I can possibly involve with it. Gonna be much more efficient, much more effective, much safer. So this whole fragmented idea of how do I focus on little parts, forget about that. Just hit everything all at once, you're gonna be better off. Number 5, your back is your foundation. One of my most contested videos I've got is the one where I suggested maybe the core's not really the foundation to what you want. It's actually your back that's your foundation. And the reason why I'm saying this is because almost every body weight exercise you're ever going to do requires tension and a stable foundation from your back, including your core exercises. Now, bridges are one of these exercises in the bodyweight world, which people kind of like, yeah, again, it's a skill, it's a tricky move and so forth. It's not really strength and muscle. It's the foundation to everything. In my book, bridges are the very first exercise in the very first chapter. Why? Because it is the first thing you've got to know before you do anything else. If you do better with the bridges and the bridges progressions, everything's going to be better. If you slack off on the bridges, you're going to be struggling with everything to some degree. Number 6, experience what I call the calisthenics rut. The calisthenics rut I talked about here, where in weightlifting you adjust the difficulty with the weight. Calisthenics, you do it by adjusting your technique, going to more advanced techniques. Well, the thing is, our minds get focused sometimes on a particular way to do pull-ups, a particular way to do squats and push-ups. And as a result, 90% of push-ups that we do are the same exact push-ups. We're not messing around with the more advanced style movements where you consider them skills and tricks and so forth. This is a big mistake. It's kind of like saying, well, if you do the bench press, you always bench 135 for 3 sets of 10. And you do it exactly that way every single time. There's no growth, there's no progression, and no matter how hard you work, you're never gonna get very far. The calisthenics rut is to get out of it and say, all right, this is my new push-up, closed push-up like this, that's the standard now. Whenever I do push-ups in my routine, it's this. I don't do this very much unless I'm drop setting or warming up or something, but this is now my standard push-up technique, and then over to here and so on. So that's how you get out of the calisthenics rut and prevent these plateaus from happening. And then finally, a lot of variety and volume seems to be the norm a lot with calisthenics. You train anytime, any place, anywhere. I hear a lot of times people saying things, I do 100 push-ups a day, 200 squats. There's so many different types. I do this squat and this pull-up, the overhand, wide, narrow, blah, 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 blah. Again, not really all that necessary. A lot of this comes from this technical fragmentation of I gotta do 20 different pull-ups to get everything. Seriously, get my chain training ebook. You don't need 20 different pull-up variations. You don't even need 2. You just need 1. You grab, you pull, you're done. Okay? Everything in the pulling chain, 1 movement. You can add a second one too as kind of a finisher or so forth. But when you carpet bomb tension throughout your body, you don't need a lot of variety. And you don't need a lot of volume either. And I'll be discussing the pros and cons with volume versus high volume and low volume training in the next video. So there you go, 7 lessons I've learned in nearly 7 years of building muscle and strength without touching a weight. Questions below. Be fit, live free.